Vikings Weekly, telling it like it is. Tough loss yesterday. We talked about this on the show last week. Thought it could happen. Browns are a tough team. Browns have been the best line of scrimmage team I think we faced so far this year. Even though the Cardinals are 4-0, I think we got really pushed around by the Vikings, by the Browns, I should say. We were dominated by physical play, both lines. This reminded me of the playoff game in 2020 when we got pushed around by the Niners. I thought we got pushed around pretty good that year in the trenches. But what are you gonna do? It just felt like January 2020 anyway. So we got dominated physically. I can't believe we had a shot at the end of this game to even win the game. That's a credit to Stefanski making some questionable calls with points. But even that being said, the Vikings again, just a disaster in the last 2 minutes of the first half, and we still can't manage the goddamn clock. We give away 3 points because we have the ball back again under 2 minutes. We give it right back. First of all, we give them a 2-point conversion, which is a free point right there because we called timeout on a kick in the last 2 minutes. And then we basically get the ball back, go right back out, 3 points. And I hate to tell you, those three plus that one, we can kick a tying field goal yesterday. But we don't. So instead of being down 14-7, we'd be down 11-7. We'd be down actually 10-7. And we'd be able to kick a tying field goal instead of throwing that pass that Adam Thielen got put in a headlock on. But you can't even cry for the call at that point because we just played so pathetically. It was disgusting. We just got pushed around a lot. The best way you could tell that is the line of scrimmage. And the Browns 184-65 on the line of scrimmage and rushing game. And then we're a running team. And but the Browns, line they were in our face all day yesterday. I can't believe we only gave up a couple of sacks. Just felt like we were running for our lives. Even in the last play of the game, they only rushed 2 guys, and we still had to roll out because that pass rush is relentless. And I tell you, if Baker makes a couple of throws, we get blown out. It's one of those games where it's the biggest blowout 7-point game. I had a buddy of mine, who's a Giant fan, texted me, "Oh, what do you mean you got blown out?" I said, "Man, I know we didn't get blown on the scoreboard, but man, we got pushed around. We got dominated. They were better than us, and we still had a chance. But we didn't play well. Really, defense, bend but don't break. But still, again, Stefanski with a couple of bad decisions, and Baker just missing some throws. But time possession, 35-25, exactly what we did to Seattle the week before. But 1-3, and geez, I've told you many times, big schedule guy, and next week is the resurrection of life, and the reservoir of life. But you got to go beat the Lions. Got them at home. You got to try to get to 2-3, and you can't look anywhere past that. I've looked at the schedule all the way through, but you got to take care of your business. I've been coaching many years. You want to make sure you take care of your business. Got to get to 2-3. Got to take care of business for us first, and we just got to do it. We can't complain about that. But so we got to find a way. But we just got pushed around. Got pushed around yesterday. But the thing is, I think that's really disappointing. I go on these Viking fan groups and just how stupid some of the fans are. So when you lose, it's Kirk Cousins' fault. When you win and he plays well, he got lucky. But when you lose, it's Kirk Cousins' fault. Again, we talked about this last week. But irregardless of what you pay someone, their performance has nothing to do with what you pay someone. Zero. Yeah, it might determine what you pay them, but once you pay them, it doesn't make them better or worse. So the fact that we're paying Kirk Cousins $40 million, which is too much, we all know that. I wouldn't pay any player in the NFL too much because you got to balance it out and you got to have a line. So even a guy like Mahomes, who's a stud, you got to protect him. So to me, I would try to talk him down if I had to pay Mahomes. I'd say, listen, I'll try to talk you down so I can keep you safe. But the fact that you pay him $40 million has nothing to do with his performance. In your mind, it does because yours is an emotion and you're angry. You're angry that this guy is paid this kind of money. Yeah, they overpaid him, but that's not Kirk Cousins' fault, and it doesn't diminish the fact of what he does and doesn't do. We know what Kirk Cousins is, but to blame yesterday's game on him is just incredibly stupid. First of all, the guy was running for his life, and then you hear some freaking idiot fan on Facebook saying, "Oh, well, he had the most balls batted down." Yeah, you heard that at the end of the broadcast, and then you parroted it because you're a jackass and don't know anything about football. Yeah, you get the balls batted down. What does that mean if you got balls batted down? And he's 6'3", so what does that mean? It means his guy's in his face. Because he's not 5'3". Then you see another post by another fan. Well, same as they're always, Cousins played poorly and we lose. Cousins plays well and we lose. Well, so then basically you just admitted that you're wrong because no matter what he does, you're saying we lose because he played great the first 3 weeks and we were only 1-2. So again, you're contradicting yourself. Again, it's amazing how little fans know about sports, and you can tell they never competed or coached at a high level in anything because they don't know what the level of competition is. This is not a freaking video game where the guy gets to set his feet and he can just throw a ball 80 yards down the field. Yeah, the guy was open, but he's also drifting to his left, and the guy's right in his face. And he's got to be able to look that way too, and not happen to be running. We know that Kirk holds on to the ball too long. We know that. We'd like to see him throw some more away. We all know that he's not a great athlete, but you know what? We knew that already. So getting that being said, that doesn't make him less or more responsible for a game. So if you think that that game's on him yesterday, you're a fool. The line play, we got dominated on both sides of the line. They pushed us around on one side and they pushed us around on the other side. Got our ass kicked. Lucky to even be in that freaking game. So he's got 9 touchdowns on the season to 1 pick. Second best ratio in the league. Is that good enough? All right, that's not good enough. Got a 105.6 QB rating. Okay, 68.6 completion percentage. By the way, one of the highest completion percentages in NFL history is his career, by the way. Now, I'm not telling you he's a great quarterback. I'm not. I'm just going to tell you facts. So grow up. The fact that he makes a lot of money has nothing to do with his performance. They overpaid him. That's it. Again, Mets paid Lindor $336 million. Lindor is a 280 hitter. This year he hit 230. It doesn't make you better. The Mets paid Bobby Bonilla way too much money for years. Bobby Bonilla was a 280 hitter. If you overpay him, that pissed offness is your own problem. That's your own demon. But when he plays well and they lose, you can't put it on him. It's a freaking team game. So you say Dan Marino sucks because he never won a Super Bowl? I know Kirk Cousins isn't Dan Marino, but Jesus Christ, we're gonna go by this one. We're gonna go down this route too. Ask Archie Manning how that works when the team doesn't play well around you. So 9-1 in the touchdowns, 105.6 passing. All these are in top 10, by the way, in the league right now. And that was after yesterday, which was not a good statistical day. Before that, leading the league in pretty much everything. Actually, Russell Wilson has no picks right now. 68.8 completion percentage. Pretty impressive. 8th best QB rating, 10th best quarterback regular rating. So you got the QBR and then you got the rating. Top 10 in both of those. Yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback, but he's not a top 5 quarterback. We all know that. But that's on you. We knew that. We knew he's not a top 5 quarterback. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not the big stud in Buffalo. He's not even the young stud in San Diego. He's not. He's not Russell Wilson. We know that. Nobody said he was. But his numbers again this year will be in top 10. Last year, they were top 4 or 5 in the league. So to blame something on someone when those are factual statements, these are not opinions. These are factual things. When someone gets it done, I don't care whether you like it or not, the guy got it done. Yesterday, they didn't play well. The whole offense didn't play well. All right, so you got to grow up. Again, 9th in yards, 5th in touchdowns, 1 pick tied for the best. So again, these fans are just idiots. Oh, same as always, Kirk plays horrible and we lose. So he played bad the first 2 weeks when he drove his team down the field and put him in a position to win. And then one guy fumbles, your best player fumbles, and the other guy misses a kick. That's on Kirk. If you think that, then you're a freaking idiot. I'm sorry that you don't know football, and you should go watch like NASCAR on your day off or something on Sunday, or do something else because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Jesus Christ. Not a top 5 quarterback. His numbers say he's top 10. Period. Sorry. Got to grow up. Next week, we got to go in there. We got to get the lines. We got to get the offensive line. Last week, offensive line did a great job, and it gave Kirk Cousins a great pocket. So you give the offensive line credit. This week, they didn't. Last week, I could not believe how open our guys were over Seattle. That was eye-opening, how wide open we are. But then Seattle comes back, thank God, and beats the hell out of the Niners. But fans just panic. Now, you're 1-3, but 2 of your losses to the AFC. So when you have multiple people that you could be tied with, and by the way, we said this last time, there is an extra spot in the wild card this year. But the thing is, you're 1-1 in the NFC. All right. So and we still got to play the Niners. Okay. We got to still play the Rams in that division. Of course, we have 6 division games coming up. So that's 8 more games right there. You got some big games in here. All right. You can't panic. And we got to play the Panthers. Okay. We got them in a couple weeks, which will be fun. They're a team that's obviously ahead of us. These are fun games. We're gonna be done with our AFC games soon. All right, we got 2 more AFC games. We got the Steelers, who might be a good year to catch them, and of course the Ravens, who are very tough. We all know that, very tough. But again, you can't bag this. You got that extra playoff seed, and tiebreaker is conference games is one of the higher tiebreakers, especially if you go into a 2 or 3-way tie. We're going to get conference record, so we're still 1-1 in the conference. You got to be smart about this. But if you don't understand these things, then you're not a smart fan and you don't do any research. So the fact that we're 1-1 in conference is important. Yeah, maybe you got to get to 9-8 this year, maybe 10-7. True, I was hoping we'd be better than that. I was hoping we'd be 11-6 this year, maybe 12-5. But our schedule's rough. Again, 12-4 are the record of the 4 teams we've played. Cardinals are 4-0. We saw how good they were. Should have beat them. They just slapped the fucking Rams, who were really good. Seahawks are 2-2 to smack the freaking Niners yesterday for most part of the game. We saw how good the Bengals are. They're 3-1. They just beat the Steelers, okay, on the road, which is tough for the Bengals to ever do that. And then we saw, basically how tough, this team, the Browns are. Browns are 3-1. I'd say best line play we've seen yet from both sides of the ball. So obviously, you got to be a little smarter than this. You got to know these things. You got to do your homework. And some of you guys just emotional fans. Let's trade. Who are we trading? Fire the coach in the middle of the season? Okay, great. I think the team has got enough talent. What are you complaining about Spielman for? You're telling me this team doesn't have talent? This team has plenty of talent. If you're going to blame anybody, even though I like Mike Zimmer, clock management still sucks. You'd have to blame him. Spielman's job is not to win games. His job is to assemble the talent and then find a coach to win the games. So if you don't like, our coach Zimmer, then you can blame that on Spielman. But you know what? You can't blame the whole thing on him. He's assembled plenty of talent on this team. Plenty of talent. And that's his job. Around the league, Tom Brady a little overrated last night. New England let that game off the hook with a couple of simple fumbles by young receivers. The Pack just blew the hell out of the Steelers. Like I said, the Seahawks came back. They didn't come back. They were pretty much pushing the Niners around. The Jets and the Giants here in New York get on the board. Those fans will be talking about Super Bowl runs, as unrealistic the New York fans are. But just around the league, Broncos lost, Panthers lost. They both came down to earth a little bit. So right now, I guess the Cards are probably the only undefeated team, right? Is that correct? Cardinals be the only undefeated team right now, I believe. Trying to think in the AFC. Yeah, in the AFC, Cardinals be the only undefeated team, and you go from there, and you see what you can get out of this. It's usually pretty early to only have one undefeated team, but it has happened. Tonight's Raider Charger game, really exciting game. Looking forward to that. Trying to think of major injuries off yesterday. Hopefully, not too many. You always wait for that injury report. You like to got through all my picks in the knockout pool. I haven't checked out next week's games yet. But Kirk Cousins fans, just got to people who just love to hate this guy. This guy's responsible for the Kennedy assassination too. I mean, you got to grow up, learn some goddamn football. Don't watch the fucking game if you don't know what the hell you're doing. So let's make sure we have a little understanding of what the hell's going on out there. I mean, try to grow up a little bit. It's just it's unbelievable.
Spending too much time
lost. It's just unbelievable how clueless these people are. It's like, grow up, dude. It's just unbelievable.
Please welcome the retired U.S. Navy SEAL who fired the shot.
Yes. Tell you what. We're going to see you guys next week. Hopefully we can get to 2-3 with the Lions. Check the preview show out on iTunes, Spotify, and Anchor. Check it out. Comment. Let us know how you feel. And we'll see you next week. We got a little Fran talking to you, telling you like it is. Vikings Weekly. Take care.